Good evening, everybody. Josh, SME Weather here. I just want to give you guys a quick update on what's going on with our storm starting tomorrow night. I will may have another video tonight. I'm undecided about it. It all depends on what some of the model outputs end up being. Um, but for now, we're going to go through the Euro. We're going to go through the GFS and its ensembles. I'm going to try to keep it as short as possible. There is a lot here, but we're going to get through it all together. So here we are, European computer model. This is our storm system right there. We'll just move it back a little bit. And actually, let's bring it all the way back. So here we go. Out here, that's the beginning of our storm. And as I move it forward in time, you can see our storm starting to get together. I mentioned earlier in a tweet, excuse me, in a post, that the National Hurricane Center was flying out of here, and it's pretty much sampling this whole area oh, to get an idea, to help the computer models get a better track on this storm. This is a low pressure system right there, and that is kind of it's coming up this way, and so is this one down here. That's also going to come here, and they're all just going to come together right here, and then just start doing something like this, and then go right out to sea. So I'll get all that out of there. So I'll move forward time, you can definitely see how that is going to happen. And you see right there, you see how we got our larger system. There's low pressure right there. Low pressure has formed right there in eastern North Carolina. You've got big dome of high pressure right here, and you got high pressure a weaker than the one up there, high pressure system there as well. And a couple of things when I look at this map that I look for is whether the cold air is something called damming, and can see cold air trying to rush right in, trying to rush in right behind the system as it normally would want to do. And the other thing that I look for is whether there's warm air trying to come up. And maybe I'm missing something, but I look at the when I see this not really budging much in this area, that tells me there's not a lot of warm air trying to rush up into our area. Um, so moving forward a little more, yeah, like I just don't see warm air and just trying to come in. I just see this high pressure really trying to hold out. The National Weather Service is suggesting the possibility of it mixing along the south coast and even the southeast, Massachusetts, but I'm not sure what models they're looking at for that. And you can see as I move the euro forward, and I think the Outer Cape has a chance of mixing with a little bit of rain, and I think Nantucket you're going to have quite a bit of rain with this, but you're going to definitely get some good snow too. You can see you get a nice big thump right there. Uh, see that line right there, and Nantucket being right here, you can definitely tell that is definitely going to get a good thump of snow right off the start. And then the system moves in, and another thing I look for when the possibility of mixing, and I've talked about it many times, the 540 line, you can see it just runs right up through here, and that's pretty much it. Oh, sorry, that was a goofy one. We'll make it a little closer, but let's try this one last time. You can see it runs right, pretty much right like that. So I think there's a chance for Cape Cod. That magical border called the Cape Cod Canal. I would say like extreme southern Mass, southern Rhode Island, maybe even possibility of eastern Long Island and maybe a small portion of southern Connecticut. And I mean extreme, there's a chance of a mix. I think that what they're looking for, I just don't think it's going to do it. I think that high pressure really is going to win out. If the high pressure was a little bit further to the north, I would say yes. But I mean, look at it. It's right there. Right. It's right there. You know, actually, even with a high pressure in that position, I would be a little bit concerned that this storm would have the potential of being suppressed. You know, that's been my main concern the whole time, suppression. I just don't. I just have a hard time believing it's gonna mix too far inland. I mean, the Nam is bringing it all the way up, and all the way into almost Worcester of a changeover, and I don't think that's gonna happen. I think, I mean, the models have been pretty much all snow throughout the whole thing, and showing that strong snow signal, and now it's showing a mix. I don't know. I just don't think that's going to end up being the case. And here's the other thing, right? This low pressure is not strong. And let's see if I'm gonna try to switch over to, let's see, where is it? That's the East Coast. All right, just give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna switch it over to a different map. Give you the North American map to give you an idea. I mean, look at this. Look at where that low pressure is. There's a low pressure way, way out there. Yeah, I know there's another low right here, but you're talking about, all right, and I mean, look where all the moisture is coming from. It's coming right out of the Gulf of Mexico, and you're talking about it coming all the way up and then coming in to this cold air and then coming right through our area. All that warm air just comes up right around it and comes that way. I just think that cold air is going to win out. I really do. And I mean, this model, you can't see it right here, but the storm that went through us, yesterday. Yeah, well, right now it is a hurricane force low in this area here. Let me back the model up, see if it can show it. Let's see. Yeah, there it is right there. See it? Um, right here. 949 millibar low pressure. Blizzard conditions like you wouldn't believe. And the cold air is coming down big time. I just don't believe for a second that there's going to be a mix that goes all the way through Rhode Island. I think that the Nam is over amplifying that. But we'll see what happens. But for now, I'm gonna get into the heights and get going on everything else. So here's the vorticity. Let me get my regions up, and actually let me get into the east. So you can see the energy out here right currently. Move it, moving ahead in time, and here we go. This is Wednesday night going into Thursday. Now I understand why the National Weather Service would think that there's a chance of a mix, and it has to deal with the way this is set up. And let's see, we'll try this color out. That's not gonna work. Well, we'll just stick with the black. Because when you see a vorticity like this in that shape and the way it looks, um, let's try it. We'll do it like this. See, if you look at this, sorry for that massive marker. All right, let's try this one out. That's a little better. Just want you guys to be able to see what I'm talking about. See that vorticity right there? I can understand why they think it, but I also want you to see how this is right down here. It comes up, right? and you can see that some cold air is trying to wrap into this area here. I think all the mild air is all going to be is all in this area right here, and I really believe it's going to stay off the coast. Um, it's a tough call, but I do understand why they think they believe and think what they think. Because I mean, in reality, yeah, you would normally see it go like this. But another thing I wanted to point out too is if you look at this, you can see where the air mass is coming from. And the same thing with this one here. Oop, let me fix that. So do that again. You can see where the air mass is coming from. You know, this air mass is coming from out here in the Midwest, while this one's coming from the Arctic. So, and I mean, even this one, this is also coming from the Arctic. And I just don't think that I just don't think that changeover is going to happen there. I think the best chance for a changeover is going to be right in this area. I think that's the best changeover um, potential. So, showed you that. And now let's get into temperatures. And the upper air temperatures right now at 925 millibars on that same time frame you just saw. Yeah, like if there's a changeover, it may be sleet, but I think for the most part it will stay snow. Especially like this. This is only a couple thousand feet above the surface, -2 degrees Celsius. Um, I just think that is going to be a little definitely frozen precipitation there, but there you go. Same time frame, same time. And I mean, this is about 10 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, still showing -5, -6 at the 700 millibar. Let's look at 850. Yeah, I mean, 500. Yeah, level 500 look like hell froze over right there. So there's no signs of anything, any liquid. Pretty much everything would be frozen. So it's either going to be snow or it could be some sleet. And I know, like I said, the NOM is showing like a sleet bomb coming right through Rhode Island and the portions of southeast Mass. Now, also, the NOM was also showing a foot of snow still, too. So a foot of snow with sleet on top is not going to be fun to shovel. All right, so we showed you that, and let's get into precipitation totals, and let me just punch up New England real quick for you. Um, well, let's take one look, and let's just get down to the end of the storm, and you see our storm starts drifting away. And I want to show you this because before I get into those precipitation totals, and since I'm here, that's ocean in effect. And so there is a potential for ocean effect snow to still be going on in southeast Mass as well as in on the Cape, and then you see it pulls out of the area by Friday. So there is still potential of some snow still going on, and you can see it right here. This is Thursday. This is roughly about, I think this is about noon. No, this is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Still snowing, and you can see it. There's still some light snow, doing some snow showers going on, and then it finally pulls out. All right, let's get into that precipitation real quick. All right. Here we go. So if 10 inches of snow equals 1 inch of rain, right? That's what 10 to 1 ratio means. If that is the case, we are talking about an area like this right here, you know, this area, you know, if it was all snow, we're talking about 14 inches, maybe 13 inches if it's 10 to 1, but and this is something else Sierra was showing, and I saw this. Look at this area here. Why would it be like that? Well, that's because cold air coming in. And I think the euro is hinting at it, is showing us, is saying, hey guys, just to let you know. But there's some things that don't make sense to me is if that's showing it there like that, then how come it's not so much? I mean, you could see a little bit here, but you don't see much of it here or here. I mean, it could be the fact that the storm, the high pressure system, is pretty much leveled things up enough where you're not able to spot that cold air, but you are going to have a massive amount of warm air coming up. Warmer air, not just warmer air, but tropical moisture from the Gulf of Mexico coming up. And because of that, it would make sense why you would see it here for in the precipitation field. Now, does it happen like that? Probably not. I don't think it will. But I've seen stranger things, so nothing surprises me anymore. All right, so that's the precipitation aspect of this. Let's get into the winds, and then we'll get into the snowfall. So let's see, winds. So the winds, they're going to be gusty for sure. Bring it back a little bit. Let's see. So here we go. You got the winds starting to come up. Actually, let's bring it to this. This is a better way to do it. Here we go. So I'm just going to pull it up to the actual state, and you can see a general 40 to 50 mile per hour winds is possible. Um, Wind, these are gusts. These are not sustained winds. These are gusts. Not expecting too much sustained winds. And that's the other thing about this storm as well. And I was going to mention this before. Let me just punch this up real fast. Some things that I look at, and this is another reason why I don't believe for a second that that changeover happened. Now, yes, there's going to be abundance of tropical moisture, and I agree. But this low pressure, look at this guy, 999 millibars. What are you doing here, bringing a foot of snow? It's not so much that this storm is a powerful storm. The problem is that you're gonna have a pressure gradient going on here, and tropical moisture slamming into that cold air. So that's what's going to amplify the snow and the wind. So the winds are just coming because the barometric pressure, the gradient on how close and tight these isobars are, and you could see it right here. I mean, you got 1004, 1008, 1016. You see how tight they are? That's what's creating the winds. The winds that are going to be about 40 to 50 miles per hour. I don't think it's going to get up to 60. I just don't think that just because the storm is not a powerful storm. But it's also another reason why I have a hard time believing that this is gonna bring in enough warm air for a changeover. I just think that out of both of these systems, I think excuse me, this high pressure is a lot stronger than this low pressure, and I just think it's gonna win out and keep it as mostly snow for most of us. Um, I can't rule out the chance of a possible changeover. Um, like pretty much. Actually, I won't put it on this map. I will show you that um, in a few minutes where I think the possible changeover is going to be. All right, so let's get into the GFS real fast. I really was trying not to make this too long, but it's just a lot to go over. The GFS is, still a little bananas, but as you can see, it's kind of going with the euro now and just it goes and then it comes out. And but I will show you this real fast. Um, Notice that 1034 high. Yeah, that's stronger. That high pressure is stronger than what the euro is showing, and the euro wasn't even showing a changeover. And but The GFS is the GFS. I can't trust it. Um, just because of how awful it's been. So let's get into precipitation field. Let's see what that's going to look like, and go right to New England. I mean, listen, it it's showing it too. It's showing it too. Look right there, cold air being funneled in, drying it up, and then you got this little spot here. I just think it's hinting the cold air being there. And here's the other thing. If you're talking about 10 inches of snow equivalent to 1 inch of rain, 10 to 1 ratio, yeah, you're talking about 15 inches right around here. All right. So if that ends up being the case, if it stays all snow, 10 to 1 ratio. But from what I understand and from what I've seen with some of these models, they're not saying 10 to 1 ratio. But I'm going to show you the 10 to 1 ratios, and then I'm going to show you what the Kucheroi ratio actually is. The Kucheroi ratio factors in, I like to call it the fluff factor of the snowfall, and that gives you the actual amounts of what they could end up being. All right, let's get into the winds. Let's see. Wind. Here we go. Oh, that's the upper air. Sorry. Here we go. Surface. And yes, there we go. Pretty much the same. Almost 40, 50 mile per hour winds. All right. So that is the GFS. Well, let's get into the EPS, also known as the European Computer Models ensembles. Um, 1 second. All right, I got the right one. All right, here we go. So with this one, I am gonna get into the probabilities. Oh, sorry, folks. All right, I have to do this. I do apologize. Oh, sorry, wrong button. It's not letting me scroll down for the probabilities. Great. Well, so here we go. This is probability of 1 inch of snow. Everybody's definitely gonna get 1 inch of snow at least. Just give me another minute. And here we go, probability of at least 6 inches of snow. Just move it forward in time, and you can see, um, the EPS is hinting at that possible changeover. And you can see it right there. It does. It is hinting at it. You know. Um, but I mean, like, if you're inside this range, I'll say you're doing pretty good about a snow chance. But when you start getting in this range, you start becoming a little more doubtful. And that's why, with Martha's Vineyard, out to Outer Cape and Nantucket area, I just, um, I just don't think it's going to happen for you guys. I think this storm's going to be a bust for you. But hey, it could end up being better than we expected, but we'll see what happens. But it's all going to be determined on, you know, what if the rate snow line comes up that far. And here's the chance of a foot of snow. Move it forward. Here we go. There's a real good chance of a foot of snow out here, but it's this is saying not saying too well for probabilities. Um, But I have seen in the past with things like this, like especially when it deals with a foot of snow or more, I have seen the EPS in the past has kind of struggle with it, with that possibility, with that happening. All right, let's go to the Jeffs. Um, You get so here we go. The probability of a foot of snow. I mean, that's a pretty good signal right here. That's a pretty good signal there. I mean, the ensembles don't do. I just find that a lot of times they have a hard time with it, and I mean, this is over 50% chance of getting a foot of snow. I mean, this area is pretty much the same area like this area, and remember these two areas, okay? Because you are going to notice that that they are one that this one's gonna have it's gonna show a lot more snow than this area. All right. All right. So let's get into the snow. Let's take a look at what the snowfall is. Um, so I'm gonna show you the 10 to 1 ratio first. So this is 10 to 1. This is the European computer model. And at a 10 to 1 ratio, and like I said, remember I said earlier, watch those two areas. The Jeffs was right here, and it was right here. But of that possibility of a foot or more, could that be a signal of whatever's going on here possibly happening over here? It's a possibility, but there's nothing hinting at it that it will happen. And also, I want to show you something else. Dry air, maybe, not some of these amounts down. We'll see if that ends up being the case. So that's the 10 to 1. So if the storm was 10 to 1, which means 10 inches of snow is equivalent to 1 inch of rain. All right, so let's take a look at the GFS 10 to 1. I mean, GFS, I mean, it's coming in hot now. I mean, just early this morning, this whole area, it wasn't even going over 8 inches. And now look at it. It's like all of a sudden it found itself. I will definitely give you guys a closer look of these amounts as a state, as the Southern New England, with um, when I go into the Kuchera um, snowfall maps. Forgive me, I'm getting really tired from work and all that stuff, so I do apologize. All right, so let's get into the EPS, and here we go, 10 to 1. Um, this model does, I don't know what's going on here. Should already been, oh, all right, I'm just gonna go with the 12Z model. There is a model running now. It is the EPS. It is the 18Z. And once that finishes coming out, I am gonna send it out. And that's the other thing. Look at this. You can see it. Cold air intrusion. Look at that. You can see it right there. Cold air coming in. Or dry air. I should say dry air. Forgive me. But interestingly, that we can see that here. Now this map, yeah, this is 10 to 1. These two maps I will not be able to show you the Kuchera. They don't have it for these models. These are also 10 to 1. As you can see, this is the Jeffs, the GFS ensembles. I mean, everybody's pretty much 10 to 20 inches, pretty much, or should I say 10 to 15, 10 to 16 inches of snowfall. I think that right out here would be about 15 or 16 inches if we go by the GFS. All right, let's get into the Kuchera and get ready. There you go. Here's the Kuchera. The Kuchera is suggesting. Now look at this. I mean, look at how much snow this is suggesting out in this area. I mean, you're talking about 40 inches of snow in some of these areas, 36 to 40, maybe 42 inches possible. Um, some definitely going to be some decent snowfall out there. All right, let's get into the GFS. Let's see what their Kucherel looks like. Not too far off from the Euro, right? I mean, the GFS just a little more east and a little more amplified. Euro, one thing I want to make notice of, if you watch right, oh, try that again. If you watch in this area here between the Euro and the GFS, you can see the GFS is a little further down with how much snowfall. It's a lot much closer. So that's it in a nutshell. I really wanted to make this short and it didn't happen, and I do apologize. But that's it, guys. It's I think it's game set now. We just gotta wait for the storm to go by. I think a lot of us are gonna end up with at least 8 inches of snow. I have seen some people putting things out there of 3 to 6 and 4 to 8. I just don't think that's gonna happen. I just don't. I think I think my 8 to 16 inches with isolated places getting 20. The Berkshire Mountains has a chance of getting even more than that. The higher you go, it's going to be even more snow. And I think there is going to be a fluff factor. I think closer to the coast you are, the least amount of fluff factor there will be. I mean, I think some of these areas, especially like here, I think they're gonna have like the maximum fluff factor. Who know? I didn't get a chance to look into it and do the equations, but there's a good chance it could be 20 to 1 maybe. We'll see what happens. I look at those numbers. That's what that would suggest to me. Since it's only about an inch, 1 to 2 inches of liquid, or inch and a half of liquid. So that would tell me that it's probably like 20 to 1 for the snow rain ratio. So, but that's it, guys. So I'm still sticking with my 8 to 16. Let me just bring this in a little closer because I do want to show you something. Um, let's see. I'll bring this. Sorry for the screen. Ah, here we go. Boston. There we go. So, where I want to show you where I think a possibility of a changeover is. I think something like this. I think that is going to be the possibility of a changeover. It's just in that area. Actually I might have even drew it a little too far north. Let me just fix that. Like, yeah, it's really hard to do it like that. Yeah, I would say something like this. Like anyone in those areas, I think has a chance of a changeover. I think the only one that I think could go to all rain, it's going to be Nantucket. I'd say Nantucket has a chance to going all rain on this. Um, I don't think the all rain's going to get up to Martha's Vineyard. I think it's going to be like, for instance, in this area here, it's going to be like a snow sleet mix with a little bit of rain mixed in. I think the more you get over here, it's going to be like a sleet rain mix made with some flakes as well. That's my thinking right now. Um, but like I said, if we look at the upper air temperatures of a possible changeover, they're what changeover? You know, like go through this whole thing. Like the only place of a changeover I see is Nantucket right here. You know, and the arrow does hint at that. I mean, this gives a great depiction of it. So we'll see what happens. We're gonna see what ends up being the end outcome. And but for now, I'm Josh. This is SNE Weather. Everyone have a great night and stay safe.